Buddy, so today we're going to focus on just listing ad creation and how to test that out, both on the templated funnel that we have and the custom listing ad. And we're going to show you some cool examples of how to get that cost per lead super low. Anybody, while we're waiting, and anybody have some experience running some listing ads so far with StreetText?
I ran one, but the thing sold so quick. Welcome to Washington State. I got to sit here. If Facebook does not have my stuff straight by Friday when I get back from Arizona, I'm going to see if Steven or somebody's got a bat phone to him, because when they flagged my account the other week, that guy ran the car ad fraudulent. They unpublished my main page I advertise off of, and they still billed me. So I knew somebody told me it took them 2 weeks to get their stuff straight. So Saturday will be 2 weeks, and if they don't have me straight by Monday, then I'll be calling those guys up, because that was crazy. They said, however they did it in the marketplace, they advertised the Lexus, $1,500. The guy, then where they logged in at was Florida, and the guy was in Colorado that he set that up against for the fake ad, set it for $999 a day and set it to run for 5 days. And so this is why I had that post in StreetText the other week that definitely people should set their ad limits, and they can always increase them. But had that guy been able to pull that off at $999 a day, that would have quick $5,000 that it went through if, wasn't paying attention, monitoring things. But my on the humor side, because you got to find humor, the dude it's only costing 13 cents a freaking thing. I'm like, man, that dude's got some ad spend working for him. But so it's been frustrating in some ways, waiting for Facebook to straighten that out. But I've been, getting all the rest of my other projects done in the meantime.
Yeah, that is frustrating.
I ran one ad. You shut it down for me. It was $9 a day. Oh, I ran two. One for $9 a day, one for $10 a day, and I only ran them for 2 days, and I got 11 decent leads.
All right, awesome. That was a listing ad or just a regular ad?
That was valuation.
Okay, the seller valuation ad. Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously StreetText is known for the seller side, but there's so many ways to go about this, right? And I think, you'll start seeing through ad tweaks classes and the custom ad class that Logan is now hosting. Hey, Logs. That's Logan, everybody. Everybody who wants to do custom ads, everybody meet Logan. No pressure, Logan.
Yeah, no, Tuesdays 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come on down and let us know what you're looking to build. And basically on that class, really quick, what we're doing is everybody's getting together, kind of picking which type of ad to run with. Everybody then shares their results in a spreadsheet that I've created with that, and everybody wins. So it's been a good class so far.
So have you come up with anything cool that you've seen work?
We've really just started testing. So as things do start to, and this is going to be the benefit of the whole community, of course, is as we start noticing the 5, 6, 7 people who are coming to those and testing them, and we find that one ad that works, we will be bringing it to the masterminds and stuff so everybody can see. And then once again, the more people we get on that class that are collaborating and sharing, the faster we'll find that next best ad. But that's what we're working on now.
And Logan, is the listings focused group?
It's whatever we want to do, right? I mean, we get whoever's there, and we all kind of decide what side of the deal we want to focus on. A couple weeks ago, we did one for buying, one for selling. It varies. It changes based on who wants to see what. But right now, I mean, I would say that on the sell side, our typical "what's your home worth" ad, it just works, right? On the buy side, if you're using one of the listing ads like Marcus is talking about, I think that's the right direction. But we're looking for some other ways of attracting buyers as well, because let's face it, anybody who's been with StreetText long enough knows that we can find you sellers no problem, right?
Well, in Pennsylvania, we're one of the few states in the U.S. that's been declared non-essential for real estate. So the only avenues we have right now to generate any kind of business is on the listing side. It's tough. We have no set opening date yet. Our governor is doing things by color code. We have to hit a yellow color code, which is less than 50 new cases per 100,000 people. And I think our new case count is still 300. So it's, wow.
being non-essential, I mean, and not being able to focus on buyers and you know, the full scope of your business, of course, is going to hurt a little bit. But keep in mind at the same time, you may not be able to physically parade people through homes. You may not be able to physically do a lot of the things that you typically do. But it doesn't mean you can't attract buyers. It doesn't mean you can't
definitely
advertise, right? And just start those conversations. Figure out what they want. And if you can't help them buy a home right now, other realtors are facing that exact same thing. We're all in the same boat in our own little jurisdictions. So it's that these people are going to have questions though. So it's a great opportunity to basically say, you know, talk about digital solutions, meet them on Zoom, really build those relationships so that as soon as the all clear is given, you have, you know, a
super fat pipe.
What's that, sorry?
We'll have a super fat pipe ready to roll.
Right. And I think that's what's going to happen. We're about to see, as soon as this hits, you know, a flood of properties I feel are going to hit the market, and there's going to be a slew of buyers looking to come and scoop them up. So I think we're going to hit a pretty level market when we come out of this, and we should all hit a pretty good boom. And if you look at this year as a year and not so much quarter by quarter, we may have a couple down quarters. It's going to happen. Right. But if you look at it as the year, I think the last 2 quarters of the year should look pretty good for most of us, and hopefully make up for whatever was missed out on at the beginning of the year.
I'm gonna throw something on that. Here's what you have to remember also. With Chase and a couple others changing their stuff to 700 credit scores and 20% down, this is a great time to hook up with your mortgage brokers and stuff like that who have the other programs as well as the down payment assistance, and shoot that out to the buyers. Because the bottom line is the buyer can't sit here and get up today and go buy a house tomorrow anyway. And in the process and the time it takes to get them ready, especially an internet lead, it's better to start going ahead and doing the nurturing now and getting them going so that they're obligated to you. And, you know, as Marcus and I always say, build a relationship now so they're ready to hit the ground running when everything opens back up.
I agree.
Where's your mask, Leon? See, you're at an airport. Protect yourself.
Okay, so today is all about the listing ad, and so feel free to participate if anybody's had some experience running a listing ad, and we'll kind of walk you through a couple examples. But before I do, I want to head back to an article that John wrote, and John, if you want to unmute yourself, you can tell us a little bit about this, but there's a couple announcements really quickly. So number one, Facebook lead conversion just started. So we have a class Tuesday, Thursdays that you're welcome to come. And this is just focusing on the fundamentals. Okay. This is for you guys just to have fun, and we can role play a little bit together. We can share videos and examples. We can walk through just simply the way to take a lead into a dialogue, to a conversation, whether it's through the AI or through video, email, Facebook Messenger, Facebook as a CRM concept, just everything has to do with lead to relationship. Okay, so that's Facebook Lead Generation 101. This link is the best resource for you guys, by the way. This is Calendly/StreetText. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's for your lead generation. That's for your lead conversion. That's for the mastermind. That's for the ad tweets class and the custom ads class. So you can get all your resources with this one link. Cool. Okay, now John, tell us about this ad or this article, 5 quick changes to get more real estate buyer leads from Facebook ads.
Okay, awesome. Hey Marcus, I'll share my screen here if you
Yeah,
want.
you bet. I'm gonna stop share, you share.
Yeah, no, you bet. So hey everybody, super, excited about this. So I'm gonna talk about Douglas Klein here. So Douglas Klein, he launched a listing ad through StreetText, and he was able to bring his cost per lead to the listing ad down from $9.96 down to less than 90, I think it was like 97 cents. We'll go through those full, yeah. So and I'm gonna go through the exact steps that he took to do that. And so it's a super powerful strategy. There's something about listings that through Facebook, you can massively drive engagement. And the great thing about listings is usually if someone's looking to buy a listing in the right price point, it's because they have a home to sell as well. So you're not just getting buyers, you're getting buyers that are coming with listings. And now you can play around with that a little bit. Like you can do some first-time home buyer listings if you want to work with first-time buyers, if that's your niche and you really want to hone in on it. And right now in the market, each market is going to be a little bit different, but what we're seeing locally is you know, in this time, even in the last month, we still beat the number of listings that sold this last month in March than we did the last year at the same time. So that's during lockdown, which is pretty crazy. But the price point that's really moving is that first time buyer to, you know, you're sort of like your retirement home, your, you know, you're moving into your second home, that sort of price point. That's really moving locally. And so it's probably going to be similar in other markets too. But I'd be curious, actually, part of the mastermind, just to hear like what areas of your market are moving right now. And I think that's really key, is focus on the listings that have got the most buyers. That's really going to maximize the most turnover. So if you can find so there's a neighborhood, if you look at your neighborhoods in your market, you're always going to find specific neighborhoods that are going to have high turnover rates. And those high turnover rates are great because that means people are buying and selling all the time there. And you may not even have a listing in that neighborhood, but that's fine because you could partner with another agent who does, and you could start to market their listings, but then those buyer leads that come in are yours. And so it's a great way to get into a market specifically in an area that you're trying to get into. So here's what Douglas Klein did. So he ran this ad, and what he did at the beginning to start with is he launched the ad, and he was getting like that roughly, it was just less than $10 lead. So if I look up here, where is the price? So basically roughly it was like $9.97, which is pretty much average. So if you see here this ad, you're going to get, you know, somewhere in that range of a $10 lead. This is the property V1 lead ad. And this is at the time that was running. And so what he then did is he split test that ad. So he created the same ad, you know, didn't do anything fancy, just took the ad as it is. And he split tested, he did the usual strategy and tried to find the audience. And he was able to drive that cost per lead down to $5.27, which is a pretty good improvement. So by taking this ad, doing the split test, he was able to save over $4 per lead. That's massive, right? Right off the get-go. And then what he did is he came out to this version. So he started to play with images. So he tried, okay, maybe I'll show a different photo of the home. Maybe I'll add like 2 or 3 photos in the same home. And he did this through Canva. So Canva's got a free tool to do all of this. And so he created these images, and that dropped his price further down to, I think it was $3.27. So now he's saving more than $6 per lead. And all he did was he switched out the images and just tested the images. So it's, again, he started with the split test. The split test drove down that cost per lead by finding the right audience. But then that gives you essentially, it's called your local max. So to find out if there's another max that you can hit, you got to switch up the creative a little bit. So he switched out the creative, the images he was testing against. And then what he did on the third step, which is powerful, is he pulled in text. And he just experimented again with Canva, with text on the image. And this is the final ad that was the winning ad. So I would take a screenshot of this ad, I would copy it, I would do something very similar. This ad, he was able to get leads 95 cents. 95-cent leads. So now he's getting 10 times as many leads for the same spend on the same ad for the same listing as he was getting before. And he just played with some text. Now he hit so on Facebook ads, you can only include so much text per ad before Facebook algorithm won't let you run ads. And so what you do is there's this really great tool, which I'll pull up here. Let me share this. But essentially it looks like this. So you post your image and it'll tell you how much text you can put in your ad before you hit this. And this is where being like a human is better than being a machine. Is that the machine said, well, your ads creative is too much, there's too much text. Because of that, your reach may be lower. But in this case, because it resonated so well with the audience, his reach actually had the opposite effect. So sometimes you got to break Facebook's own rules a little bit and experiment. So by adding that text, he was able to take it to a whole nother level. So I'm gonna just share this other screen so you can see. Find this link. Here it is. So Facebook's got this tool, and I'll post the link in the.
I put the link in there, John.
Oh, you did? Okay, perfect. So let's see if you can see this. But so Facebook's got this tool, and all you do is you upload your image, whatever your image is. So let's say it's this one. Now this is going to have too much text because I'm including all of the other part of the post. All you do is you upload that, and then Facebook will tell you how much image text. So it's like, in this case, because I included the full post, it's going to have all the text. It's saying it's high. But if you just did the post itself, it's going to come out of medium. And ideally, you want to have somewhere between low to medium as far as text to your image ratio. And the reason is Facebook doesn't want Facebook looking like a billboard. But what it does, you know that people are still, when they see things and they read things, that's going to create engagement. And probably the thing that really works for here is 4 bed, 4 bath. That's going to suit a lot of people. A lot of people's wish lists are going to be 4 bed, 4 bath. So if you find a listing that you know is just a, you know, it's got the right formula, everybody's in demand for that listing. And even if it's not your own listing, it's fine, as long as you have permission to work with another agent who's got the listing to advertise it on their behalf. It's a win-win. You get leads and they get their listing promoted. So, and then of course you can pull up reports on these too. So you can then advertise to your sellers what is that you're doing to, or you can bring that information back to them, and you can kind of show them how you're working for them on their behalf, and then all the leads that you generated on their listing. So that's great, because right now people are asking them, like, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And this is a really powerful strategy of showing listings. So Marcus here has got an example that he's running on his own home. And so I'm going to stop the share here, and I'll let Marcus kind of share a little bit what he's doing, how it's working and why it's working.
Yeah. So I'll kind of give people, for all you guys here, a highlight of actually how to even set these up with your StreetText funnels. So there's a couple ways. When you get into here, you're going to have the templated property listing version 1 lead ad. Now this is, you know, for some of you guys are like, just show me the easiest way possible. This is going to be the easiest way to do it. It's so simple. You're just literally clicking select. And this one has $3.93 average. There's, you know, as of last month, 660 people actively have tested this to produce that average cost per phone number, just under $4. So how do you build something like this? Well, it's pretty straightforward. You just put in your city and or neighborhood, amount of bedrooms, bathrooms, a little bit of description of the ad, which I recommend just writing out the description first and then copying it in. So if you go grab something from your notes, it's so much easier just to do a copy paste so you can do a couple emojis in there too. You know, you can do something like that where you just paste it quite easily. Your follow-up URL most likely would be something that would redirect them. So in our case, I'm just taking them straight to realtor.ca, which has got the 3D tour, as well as all the pictures and all the pricing information and where to contact that agent. So it's actually pretty straightforward. Once you have those all pulled up, you just paste that in. Your images, it's up to you. I can use images like this quite easily. And there's a couple ways to do this. We'll show you that shortly. And then just basically click next. You do your targeting and you launch. That easy. Okay. There is another one that is working really well if you want some more custom design. It's called the custom listing ad. And when you click select, or yeah, custom listing ad would be one. There's a custom lead ad there. Custom listing lead ad. Similar type of thing. In this case, I'm just going to take the body, and I like I said, I always recommend writing out the description beforehand. It makes it so much easier, and then just copying it in. So, because if you're going to be split testing, like we talk about, running, you know, at least 3 ads of the same variety to get low cost leads and letting them run for 24 hours, this is the best way to do it. And images, you can pull your images in. I recommend you building it out of a design in Canva, something similar to this. Everybody know, before I move forward to this, I'll stop my share. Everybody know or experience with Canva. And it's free, okay? It's really easy to use.
The free 99 model.
The free 99 model is always the way to go. And so, you know, for example, you could go into Canva and let me just find the example template. You can create your own custom template. And when you come out of that, it makes it really easy, because if you go to something like elements and they have this place called elements, and you go to grids, you can drop your picture into whatever grid you want, and you could have multiple images. So you can put an image in here. So you got to look at all the grids and see what you like. That's the kind of way I set it up. I like to do it in something of that nature. So you just got to find which works best for you. And then if you find that, you put those pictures, you highlight them in, and then you simply just downloading that picture and uploading it as a PNG right into that area. So again, coming from scratch on here, it's when you build that and download it, you pick your image from stock, or I wouldn't do stock. I would do obviously your image on this, build it, design it, put your body in there, copy paste it in there, and you're basically just launching. And so I did that kind of test for the agent that is selling this property. And I just did a split test. You know, I did a couple with dropping the pin in 2 different areas, one with a 15-mile radius, one with a 20-mile radius. This one was, you know, a $2.51 cost per phone number, full lead, because this is a Facebook lead ad. This one dropped to, or went a little bit higher, right around $5. This one we just targeted Calgary altogether, and we had under $3. And then this one was $4, but then I kept them all under about $9 of ad spend before I turned them down or turned them off. This one was probably my best. I had a 15-mile radius drop. It went down to $1.41 on this one, 65 cents a click.
So if I can interrupt for a second, that ad you did there, that was just advertising your property for sale, or are you actually trying to advertise a property to get people to contact you about listing their property? I mean,
this one's a property that we want sold. My property, actually.
Okay, but is that the only reason why you'd use that template? If you're actually saying, if I did have a listing, for example, and I actually want to market it for like just listed, is that the main purpose for that type of ad?
Or you want to attract buyers who are looking for that type of property, because it's almost like you're leveraging a free list of homes for sale under X, or because if you really know that this type of property is something that's highly desirable, it'd be a fast way to attract buyers to it, right? Because I have actually ran this type of test previously and got it down below $1 a lead for a full contact information. Just remember, the beauty behind this too is that not only are you split testing this like we do everything else, but then you're also going to be customizing the automation behind that. So when you go into your My Funnels button, you want to make sure that you're editing and customizing the automatic email and text message that goes out. Because if you run this custom listing one, it won't have that automation built in. You'll have to create one. And
that one was mainly designed for actually marketing something. Did you you already have listed that you want for sale, or trying to attract buyers to a particular listing?
Yes.
So,
exactly.
Okay, so all right.
Everyone clear on that one?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna jump in here and just kind of answer Joe's question here too. He said, has anyone tried that approach, multiple picks via Canva and the Home Valley lead ad? I think the reason that multiple picks works so well for the listing ad is that it's showing just enough to create more curiosity. So if they see just one picture of a house, they might be, they might click on it because they're looking for that home or that neighborhood. But if you show maybe a picture of half of the kitchen or half of the backyard as well, people are saying, oh, well, I want to see more of those photos. So they click on that because then what they're doing is they're wanting to see, oh, is there, what does the rest of the backyard look like? Is there a kitchen? Is there a living room too? Maybe that kind of suits my need. So you want to show just enough photos to spark curiosity, get people to engage. And then as far as the landing page goes, what you would do is you'd actually take them to the actual listing wherever you have that hosted. It could be on your personal website. It could be on, somewhere else. It could even be just through realtor.com. Wherever you want people to go to get that information, or it could be through a custom URL that you create through your MLS. But the idea there is you're showing just enough to create curiosity. And I think that's why the text works too, because the text is giving them a little bit more information without giving them all the information, so that when they see it and they read it, they're like, yeah, okay, I like that. I want to know a little bit more. And so you're again, it's creating that curiosity and then going forward. I heard a really interesting statistic yesterday, but it does make sense. and it's talking about anticipation. And so they did a study of people that were going on vacation, and 60% of the joy of that trip was actually in the anticipation period. It was from people who had booked it ahead and they started to look forward to it. And in real estate, there's a lot of ability in marketing to kind of help create that anticipation for buyers. Right now, there's a lot of people out there who are shopping, and they are just as active as they were last year's spring market. The difference is that it could be a lender restriction. It could be that they're just waiting to see, they might have another listing they want to put on the market, and they're just waiting for this to clear out so they can. There could be a lot of reasons why people are not taking action immediately, but they are all in that period of time. And so if you can put advertisements in front to help create that anticipation for what their dream home is, because a lot of people are thinking about what their dream home is right now, because they're either stuck at home, or they're living at home, or they have a home with, maybe the yard needs to be a little bit bigger, or you name it. And they're starting to think about that. And so these are really good qualified buyers, because a lot of them have homes already that they're owning, and they're going to have to sell them too. And so that anticipation period that they're in is a powerful time to be promoting and talking to them, so that in a week or two already, I mean, every state, every province is different. In Canada, I know that a bunch of places are now taking off the restrictions. And in the US, Florida is like taking off a lot of the restrictions. And so that'll start to follow through the other states as well. And so it'll just be a short matter of time. And if you are, putting those listings out now, you'll have all of the people that are ready to go, boom, in a week or two or three, however long it takes, depending on the state.
Yeah, I got
so one thing I'm gonna, go ahead, Leon.
So to follow along with that, because here, as I was laughing at Tom Marcus earlier, my account is still unpublished, and so
yeah, we got
Facebook doesn't have me straight. We got to get that good. But I have a listing I'm taking active on the 7th of May, and what I planned on doing is running the listing ad. I'm going to go buy a .com name, and in Canva, I'm going to put something so it points them to that .com to push them towards the landing page or whatever, but also a video with that. So what I was going to do is just do the video, because I'm going to go ahead and do the video in 4K and all that. And knowing that, this way I can push them towards that to get the video for more information. But are we able to put a live link into that listing ad?
Yes. So that's where it redirects to. So when they click and submit their information, I'll kind of give you the example here. So if I go on to the ad itself, and let's just say I'm a lead and I submit my information. Well, when I submit it, I've already done this, so it's already been submitted. It just goes to view property. Now that's wherever you redirect them to. So if they want to view the property, you can direct them anywhere you want. You want it to go to video, you want it to go, in this case, I want them to go here, right? So here they have the 3D tour, they have the pictures up here they can go through. They have the listing agent information, they could schedule a showing. That's all on that one redirect link. So they're getting all the information they need. You'd want to probably do something similar in that moment. As soon as they submit that information, not only are they getting an automatic email, an automatic text, but that is where you want them to be redirected to where they can get all that information at one time. Does that make sense? Questions?
So I was going to add one thing that's, anytime you're running any buyer, trying to track buyers, right? One thing to always consider is, I'm going to say, don't think outside the box, but think outside of the city and think outside of the state. So I'll give a good example. I was talking to Craig yesterday. He's in New Jersey, kind of a little bit more in a rural area. And he's telling me, we're talking about the listing ad, and he actually set up some. And he had just finished telling me that he was just at the Costco, and the number of New York plates there was crazy. Right? And then we were looking at his ad, and I'm like, hey, Craig, you've got a 15-mile radius on this. And we always harp on the 15-mile radius now, right? Because it's the minimum that you can target. And that's obviously, right, that's what you're going to want to do on the seller side. But on the buyer side, you can attract buyers from much further out, right? You're not looking for necessarily for buyers that are looking to move within a city, a lateral move, but look for buyers that are wanting to move from outside of your city into it, or we're wanting to move from another state into this. And I'm sitting there going, well, Craig, all of these New Yorkers are coming into Jersey. They're seeing how much more space is there and it's nice and it's quiet. That's why they're coming there. They're going to be interested in purchasing a home there, right? We're now in this whole like remote work thing where we were going to shift over to that anyway. That was going to happen, but we can give examples such as the Bay Area, right? Super expensive to live, but a lot of those people can now work remotely. They're going to be looking for places that are a lot more cost affordable, right? So if we know those trends, I know that there's a lot of Californians that are looking to move to Vegas. They're looking to move to Texas, right? Sorry, Jessica. So think about that. If you know where people are looking to move from and into your community, then start targeting those areas, because now you're going to attract a whole lot more people and it will definitely work out for you guys.
I mean, I second that. That's what I did with that listing ad. I was targeting, because we're here in Kelowna, I was targeting Calgary. I was targeting Vancouver, right? Because Vancouver, $1 million market. They're like, well, why wouldn't I go to Kelowna where I can buy, half the price and get twice the home, right?
Yeah, Troy, what I was going to highlight real quick is that down in North Carolina, we have so many people from Jersey, New York, Connecticut. One of the towns in the Triangle area of Raleigh is called Cary, and its acronym is Concentrated Area of Relocated Yankees. So we have so many people, it's actually insane coming from the Northeast. So, and I definitely need to do better at targeting areas up there to let people know when they come down here. So
yeah, it's funny because I was actually in North Carolina last year and talking to the taxi driver. He said like a lot of New Yorkers were coming down, moving into that area.
So the takeaway on this too is that the split test is the same throughout any funnel you run, whether it's the 3-ad split test we talk about on sellers, and we just conservatively say 3 ads. You can do more than that, right? As you can see, I just did 5 or 6 at the same time. So it's just being more aggressive as you run more ads on which ad that you're going to continue running and which one you're going to shut down, or you let a couple kind of duke it out and compete. But whether you're running the buyer funnels, whether you're running the seller funnels, whatever funnel you run, or even the custom funnels, the split test remains the same. You want to split test everything. You don't want to run one ad at a time, because you want to give yourself the best opportunity to find the audience that is going to give you the most predictable low cost results, right? And by split testing, that's where you get it. Just understand, like, because a lot of you kind of get into that idea of, well, where would I even start with this stuff? But most of them has been very much templated for you. So everybody usually starts with a seller property valuation conversion. But what you're not doing is you're not split test. Like, you should split test the satellite variation of it. You should split test the terrain variation of it. Maybe split test some emojis in there. You should consider the equity side of that, which is just a small take on words, and it's producing really great results as well. And then on the seller side, this is the one that we've seen actually the lowest cost results as of lately. On the seller side, it's the what's your home really worth conversion. Okay. If you look at this one right now, there's almost 600 people actively using it, and it's producing the lowest cost per lead in the entire seller funnel. It's the what's your home really worth, and it's super easy to do. It's actually probably easier than the other ones. You can see the cost per lead is $2 on average. The cost per email is $5. Okay, so and the cost per phone number is below, almost getting in that $15 range. Simply just clicking select. Now, what I really recommend when you build this one is, because now you basically enter your address, receive your home value. Find something that's local in that area, that is a landmark that everybody knows. It's not like, I don't think you should go straight into a home. You could. I'd rather use a local landmark, like Stacy Sebastian is running a really great ad right now with a aerial view of the mountains in Bend and the city, and it looks beautiful. That's something that's attractive to click on. A home is cookie cutter. You could find a stock photo, but everybody's doing that. So do something that really resonates with that area and test that.
Yeah, and on that point, if you're doing a home value ad and you do show a home, it's different than a listing ad. So a listing ad, you're showing a home, you're showing people what they can potentially have. With a home value ad, you're asking them to resonate, is this my home? And if they see a home that's not their home, they're just going to scroll past it because it's not their home, it's not their value that they're going to get. Whereas if you show them a picture like, this is a great example here that you've been shared. So this is Craig's ad and it's working, it's awesome, but it's something that's really familiar with the town. Everyone knows it. It's the clock. And so when they see that, they immediately say, yeah, that's my town. Yeah, I want to know my home value worth, which is, it's using creative that resonates with the objective of that ad. So, or what the inquiry would be. So does that make sense?
Yeah. I'll show you the one that Stacy Sebastian's using, which is doing really well. So this is
what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep away from it looking like if we use that house, when you look at it, you're like, well, that's not my house, right? So we're trying to, again, stay in the theme of this looks a little bit more like a post, not an ad, right? But it's representative of the area that I live in. So what it is relevant to me, right?
Yeah.
And that's what draws them in.
And the more like, that's actually Stacy in the picture. So that's really, it's cool because it's her brand. It's her area where she lives. That's a incredible shot. Enter your address, receive your home value. That's as simple as it gets. So just kind of want to highlight that in itself is, if you're going to be running that type of funnel, make it local to you. Don't find some cookie cutter stock photo. You know what I mean? That's not the way to go with that funnel. Find something that you can upload in there and then test that. Run that through that same model that we teach you with the seller ad, run 3 exact same ads with that model and let them compete against each other for the next 24 hours. That'd be a good, smart way of doing it.
I just wanted to chime in and go backwards a little bit to the listing again. Just a reminder, some of you might be like, listing doesn't apply to me because I don't have a listing. Well, somebody you know has a listing and listings are a great way to find buyers. So if you're not using the listing ad because you're waiting until you have a listing, just remember, like, partner with somebody in your brokerage, ask them if you can use their listing and put their listing up. I know a couple months ago, I can't remember who it was in Vancouver, was sharing how they just had a listing ad that was just doing so well that they continued to use it, even though the listing had expired, just because they were collecting so many people in their buyer's funnel and they knew specifically what they were looking for now. You now have a buyer who you know what they're looking for. So if that listing's not available, you can connect them with other listings. I know Jay on here in his trial had great luck with that, where something wasn't available and he was able to give them something similar and nobody had brought that property to their attention. And that's how he ended up with getting a buyer out of his trial period in StreetText. So just don't exclude the whole listing thing because you don't have a listing right now. You can still use it as a buyer funnel.
Yeah, hey Marcus, I'm definitely interested in talking more about how to target market, places up in the Northeast with so many people come down here, especially buying new construction. Because a lot of them will come down here and they'll go straight to a builder agent and they have no idea that builder agent actually owes their loyalty and their responsibility to the builder, and they have no representation and they're still paying for it.
It's really easy. I mean, in the sense of your targeting side of this, you can use any funnel. Let's just for fun talk about, because when you get to the targeting side, I'm just going to go straight to it. It doesn't matter if you're doing a listing, a buyer, you're dropping the pin, right? And you can drop multiple pins. So let's say I drop a pin in my home address. And if I do that, you can drop it wherever you want. And once you drop it, well, that's not the way to do it. You want to type in the area first. So once you drop it, you can draw that radius and say, you know what, I want to hit that place. And then I do want to drop another one. So you have those coordinates there. And then you're like, well, I also want to target Calgary, right? And so you can actually combine the pin drop and the actual areas. Remember, 15 miles will naturally be drawn around that in your neck of the woods. So the idea on these is that you can do multiple targeting locations. It doesn't have to be one refined targeting. Just don't let them overlap. So if you're doing multiple targeting locations, that's the way you're doing it. So, but remember, you might be split testing the location as well. You might run an ad where you're just targeting one area, and you might run an ad where you say, well, what if I try this ad in this area? Then you've got to split test that, because every time you make a change, that's a new split test. One change at a time would be the way I would look at it.
Yeah, so you're basically targeting people, hey, if you're thinking of moving to the South, you know, and that's how somewhere in that lines, that's how you'd be creating that ad.
That's right. And so when you kind of start looking at all the funnels that you have in StreetText and start looking to see if there's anything that kind of lines up with that, and then if you have some sort of custom idea, something like you just mentioned, that's where you would want to come into the custom ads class with Logan and help you build that idea.
Okay.
Awesome. Any questions, guys? I know this is a lot of information, but it's, you know, it's kind of giving you some of the best resources from all the different classes that we offer, and that's why we're masterminding together on this. But you want to take this obviously and apply it. So is there anything particular that you're learning or that you'd like to take away based on what we're kind of putting in front of you right now? Is there anything that is standing out?
What I was going to sit there and say, Chad, on your thing for feeding up the back of Marcus, make a did you know video for the buyers, because when you turn around, we talk about bomb, we talk about all this stuff coupled together. And if you're going to drive them to something, make a did you know. I'd go stand out around a construction site somewhere and kind of walk them through and give them the did you know and let them know about how the buyer agents are sitting there for the builder, not for them, and that you're a true buyer agent to them. And then kind of maybe have a lender break down the cost to show what you're there to save them, and just more informational for them.
Very good point, man. I appreciate that. So I've always procrastinated on doing video, and I needed to do a better job of that. So
here's what I say, and I say it all the time. You don't have to be the man in front of the camera. Start behind it. Give them a point of interest, and then as you slowly do it, transition into it. But you know, one thing it says, eventually you got to meet them, and it's all about relationships. So the sooner they get to know you and build the trust factor, the better. And you know, you have nothing to hide. You're here to provide a service, provide a good service.
yeah, I generally have a pretty high turnaround once they actually get to know me. You know, they don't really interview anybody else. So
No.
Well, plus too, with the new screen share, you don't have to have your face big and center. You can just have a little bubble with your face if you're new to the whole video thing.
100%. Or you don't even have to have your face there whatsoever. You can click out of that and just be talking as a voice over the screen recording. So, you know, you can kind of work your way through it, like your comfort zone. And then as you get more comfortable, you can start kind of switching between screens. Here's me. Here's what I'm talking about, right? When you're really wanting them to connect with you particularly.
you know, sometimes trying to be a little.
Absolutely. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. Even just coming to this mastermind is good for that. The more you and what's great about it is for the person, it's like someone following a YouTube celebrity. They didn't start as a YouTube celebrity. They just started as somebody posting videos on YouTube. But the more that somebody follows them, the more they feel like they get to know them. It's the same thing with your leads, your people that you're communicating with. The more you do videos, the more they feel like they get to know you. The more you are willing to reveal, maybe it's like your office, hey, this is my team, this is whatever. The more they get to know, like, and trust you. And to that point, Chad, like you said, you know, most of the people that you work with, they don't even interview someone else. It's because you've got that trust, that natural, it's like a combination between that authenticity and that integrity. And when people see that, they immediately form a sense of, oh, well, I want to do business with this person. This value aligns with my value. The way that they are aligns with the way I want to see my home taken care of. And so the more we use video, the better it is, because people start to, transparency is attractive when it aligns with authenticity and integrity. And so the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And don't worry, like you guys are saying, it's like you don't have to go, you know, full on production level at the beginning. Like when you look at like how Wendy's videos are now, you're like, wow, these are incredible. How do I do that? But you know, Wendy's like a great example of where we can kind of move towards as far as it. And like, Wendy, you do on your videos, you have like text scroll and stuff as well, right? Like, so like, cause they come across so natural, like you're having a conversation, but you're.
Yeah, it's called Big View. It's an app, and I do my videos on my phone, and the words are on the side of the camera where the camera is. So when you're reading, it still looks like you're looking right into the camera, which is the important part. So the words aren't like here or over here, to where the camera sees you not looking at them. So, and then if you do it a million times, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, hey Wendy, that was some of my confliction there. Is like you have so much technology. You have your camera. You can get the Stovey thing where you can actually do your own videos. I mean, I have a nice Logitech right here. I can do my videos. And then someone mentioned the BombBomb. I mean, it's a hard pill for me to swallow to pay $500 a year just for video editing.
Oh my gosh, BombBomb is BombBomb.
Well, and you can do that monthly. You can do. They have a monthly setup that is like I think there's like a $30 option, maybe the one that you guys
I mean,
need
is it that much of a wow situation that it's actually worth it?
Yeah. The thing is it's not just video editing. In fact, I don't edit my videos on there at all. It's about being able to have that bubble in the corner and screen share and record and send that out to people. You can explain, the video CMA, obviously. You can also explain your HomeBot program that you're setting them up on. I mean, it's so insane and it's all trackable. So
yeah, and it's mobile friendly. You're going to be using it for canned snippets, things that you send over and over again. You're really wanting to consider not just the open rates, but also when things are being played and links that are being clicked within your email, because everything needs to be measured, right? At the end of the day, it's not a cost per lead as much as you're starting to measure your cost per response.
Right, and all of the templates available, so you can just do it. I mean,
I'm so not tech savvy though. That's my struggle.
Yeah, I really like BombBomb because if I send out like an informative email with a PA and COVID and the shutdown and everything, I send a lot of updates out to my client base. I can physically see in BombBomb which of my emails is being opened multiple times and how much during the day. And I try to send my emails out when most of the people are opening my emails.
Right, yeah, you can set timers up to have them, deliver at a certain time. You can do bulk, you can put people in lists. You can do it from your phone. So say you're out and about and you do a quick video, you can drop it right into a template and send it out to your past clients.
Is there another program out there that actually creates the time in the day that you can actually get this crap done?
It's called time blocking.
Time management.
I don't have enough. I need a clone already.
Yeah, there's a good book on that, Atomic Habits by James Clear, as well as The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Those are two great books.
I try to block out time, but it just doesn't work that way. I get so much I'm doing, so not just real estate. So
the key there, Chad, and I think this is the key with a lot of things is if you are leveraging technology and you feel like you're not tech savvy, that's probably an advantage because you're going to come up with a really simple system. And if you have a simple system, it's something that you're going to be able to use again and again and again, and it gets out of your way. And that's one of the reasons I like BombBomb so much. And, we're big advocates of it as well. And I think it's just because it does a good job of integrating right into your Gmail. It integrates, so it gets out of your way. So you just click a button, you record, and it's sent. So it's not like you have to think about, oh, I need a special recorder or anything. You just click a button, boom, it uses your webcam, gone. You can use your phone, boom, gone. It's super simple. It gets out of your way and it doesn't cost a huge amount to do. It won't cost you $5,000. So it's, it works with
your follow-up boss too, or see a lot of different CRMs. So if you have your own CRM and you have your own, setup, then you just click the BombBomb thing inside there once you get it set up and it'll drop a video right in there. So you don't have to go through BombBomb, but you're still utilizing it and it's still tracking.
Hey, the good news about that too, there's a 14-day free trial that, it's worth trying because if you don't want it, you don't want it. But at the end of the day, it's just, again, it's humanizing the process, right? So we need video to humanize the process. Outside of that, what are you going to do? YouTube. I always think about the experience that you're providing that person. And I want the experience to be the best because sometimes your first impression is your last impression, right? And if the first impression they get from you, some sort of auto email, which is like could be interpreted 1,000 different ways, the whole oh, I was just curious, or the whole, all those objections you get. Oh, I thought this was and fill in the blank. Well, you can't think of anything if they go to their inbox and you're there talking to them through the experience you want them to have, and you're providing the value that they're going to get and helping them understand in the context of there's no way to give them an accurate value. Here's what they're going to do to get it, right? But
yeah,
if
just trying to make sure you actually have relevant content when you do a video. And that's sometimes I sit there and think, man, am I going to be talking about anything interesting? Or I'm say, hey, you ready to buy a house? Here I am.
No, it's just a simple intro, right? And it's short and sweet. You know, hey, this is Marcus with Remax Kelowna. Thank you so much for your Facebook home value request. I'll be working on it shortly. In the meantime, you might have a question or two you wanted to answer with that.
Yeah, the goal there really is more than anything else. Like, yeah, you are the market expert, but you don't have to convince anybody of that because they already know that. So all you're wanting to do is show them there's a person on the other side. The number of guards that fall when a person realizes that it's a human to human interaction, it's amazing. And so video just allows the person to be like, oh, this isn't automated, or oh, this isn't just a robot, or oh, I get it. This is, and that's why you got to look at what Wendy's doing, because she does an incredible job of that. Even when she shows like the 3 different home values and you know what the you know internet's best guess is at, and so it's like, okay, this is a real person. Guards fall down, you know, people are more willing to have that conversation moving forward. And
yeah,
you know, you can still come across as a market expert when you do your monthly market reports and you make that a video and you send that in your mailer, like your emailer. Like the Ryan Peterson, he's a local agent here in our market. I'm on his email list. I'm on a lot of if you guys add me to your email list, I don't mind. I just like enjoy the content. So but he sends a monthly market report, and it's just him. You know, he's in his office, he's just recording himself, and then he'll show a few statistics as far as like what the market's doing. But I love it because his emails come to life, because he's showing me that information each month anyways. But now I actually get more insight into what does that mean exactly because a lot of agents, like, you get so used to the statistics, you can look at them and you understand instantly, okay, this is what's happening in the market. When you know, a home buyer or a home seller sees that information, they don't really know how to interpret that. But when you are in a video and you just kind of communicate and walk them through, this is what's happening, and this is what this graph means, and this is what that graph means, and this is what this means overall for the market, people are, okay, I get it. Yeah, of course you're the expert. You know, there's no question there. But, you know, now I feel like I'm more educated, and now I feel like I understand better, but also I get to know you a little bit better.
I definitely want to know that what I'm saying is actually has value and it's interesting. You know, I know that I know what I'm talking about. It's just being able to convey that in the video and make it interesting, and somebody actually wants to listen to that video. And that's where it gets kind of unsettling a little bit, just trying to break into that part.
It's just, you know what, it's practice. And so
yeah.
what I posted on the chat feature is come practice with us. You know, part of the conversion class that is happening now Tuesday, Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, is just for us to practice together, right? It's to highlight some examples and just to practice. Because at the end of the day, you just have to get in front of it. After a while, it gets more comfortable, right? And you're not looking at it. You don't need even to look at a screen. You're kind of looking at the camera as if you're talking to that person, and you're not even thinking about it anymore. It's natural, like you were talking to that person at the door.
And I threw it in the chat there. The thing with BombBomb is I've come to prefer it over email or text, because it is actually easier. Because like once you get used to it, you grab your phone. I'd rather do a quick little video and send it off, knowing that what I'm trying to say is going to be communicated more clearly anyways, because it has all different sorts of communication in it, including tonality and all of that. So with the Chrome extension too, it's so easy to just click that, film a video, put it in an email and send it. It's actually easier than responding via email and trying to come up with the wording and stuff. So we just have to get over that hurdle of talking to a camera. Once you get over that hurdle, you actually start to prefer it, and your communication that comes across. Because I mean, I've gotten emails before where I thought the person was really angry. They weren't. There's just no tonality in an email. A video has tonality. At first, your videos will look like this, and you'll have no tonality.
I'll have no smile on my face.
Yeah.
But
eventually you'll learn how to just be yourself on camera, but you only learn because you've done it repetitively.
Looks like I got 2 listings. I got both of them this week, and in the first 5 minutes I was there talking to them, they said, well, you can finish your conversation, but based on what our perception of you is that we don't need to interview anybody else. I said,
That's awesome.
cool.
So you just need to get that on video now.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
That's
I need to get them saying it on video.
Chad?
No, you just need to talk to people on video.
Yeah. Well, question for you, Chad. So when you're doing those listing presentations, those listing appointments, what would you say is the moment, that sort of aha moment for most of the people in that room?
You know, one of us, they're going to click with somebody. They're going to go with someone they click with or gel with, because everybody's knowledgeable. And I've told this before. Like I told a guy one time who was coming down from New York, and he posted on the buy sell trade site on Facebook, saying, "Hey, look, we're going to move to the area. And, does anybody know anything about the area?" And I messaged him on Instant Messenger, and I said, "Look, first I want to apologize to you," and I left it at that. And he goes, "Why do you want to apologize?" I said, "You're going to be inundated with realtors that's going to be trying to help you buy a house down here, and all of them are more than qualified. It's going to be who you connect with the best. And I actually happen to be one of those realtors." I said, "But with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm an open door, and I'll answer any question you have. And I have all the knowledge to get it done." And I didn't hear back from him for about 2 weeks. And also he said, "Chad," he said, of the 79 realtors that actually instant messaged him, that I was the only one that didn't try to sell him anything. And I was just there to give knowledge. And he knew that he was going to come down with me and work with me when he comes down here. And I take the same thing when I go into someone's house and talking to them. I just keep it simple. Use the KISS system. Some people throw a bunch of graphs at them and things like that. I'll say, I keep it simple. You want to know who I am, I want to know who you are, and you want to know what your house can sell for. That's it.
So when you, that's great. That's awesome. So when you, on that you said you were the only one who wasn't trying to sell them anything. You said a great job of setting the expectations ahead of time. You were almost saying, like, here are some of the hurdles or things you might experience, those pre-objections, and then getting ahead of them. But then when you said you weren't trying to sell them anything, what does that mean? Like exactly? What would someone else be doing versus what are you doing?
Well, they're all trying to sell something. I'm just trying to be genuine and give them information and let them. You already know they're there to sell something, so you don't necessarily have to sell them on selling. They're already ready to sell. You just have to give them the facts and let them see if you're the person that can get the job for them done.
Got it. So you're allowing them. It's almost like a good coaching conversation in that sense, where it's like you're asking the right questions, but you're allowing them to then be the ones to figure out what is the next step forward. And part of that, allowing them to figure out, is like, actually, oh yeah, you are the person I want to be doing the next step forward with as well.
Yeah, like I said, you can contact 20 different realtors, and those 20 different realtors will come in, and they would probably almost come down with a very similar number on what it would take to list your house if they're doing the right job and doing their comps. And they all have similar technologies. You definitely hit all the websites when you promote your house. You go through Facebook, promote your house. You do all the legwork to actually get all the paperwork done, and you reach out to a certain sphere of people to actually promote the house. They all know they're going to do that. They just want someone that has the personality and that they feel that this person is driven enough to actually get the job done.
Yeah, no, that's great. What a good way to end this off. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate that. We've gone, I think we're right at 1 hour exactly. So boom, awesome. So I'm really excited for next week. Really enjoyed this week as well. And so thank you. Hope everyone has a great day. Yeah. Thanks, Chad.
Take care.
Everyone. Thanks, Leon. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks all.